nice to see you.
Right?
Welcoming.
We're welcoming Rick to the stage.
There we go. He made it. Yay.
Wow. Sure, embarrass me, that's fine. Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. Happy Sunday. It's wonderful to see everybody here and to welcome those joining in on our love stream, we call it. I was chatting. I lost track of time. So we have a marvelous service for you today. As always. Can I just say that? A wonderful speaker and some great music. And let's sing together. Let's bring in this autumn weather and celebrate our theme for this month. It's all about togetherness and what we can be and do together. So let's sing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out. Find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. I could start this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. With our hands and with our hearts, we can dare to make a start. Together we can change the world. What if we spoke with one voice, knowing that we have a choice? Together we can change the world. I could start this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. Change your mind and change your life. Set aside the fear and strife. Together we can change the world. When we open up our eyes and we start to realize, together we can change the world. I could start this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world.
Good morning, and welcome to everyone here in person and all of you joining us online. My name is Sue Gardner, and I affirm that all people are welcome here at our spiritual center. The practitioner doing the reading and prayer this morning is Jim Ferris. At High Watch is Teresa Martin, and at High Watch, Teresa will be holding our service in sacred space and sanctity for the speakers, the musicians, and everyone who takes part today. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy of daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor all pathways by which people seek to know the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so we can help make the world a better place. I invite you to say the following vision statement with me. The Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living is a thriving community where individually and together we embody and express our spiritual magnificence for the highest good of all. Our theme for the month is Reaching Higher, and the topic for this week is Share the Dream. Today's speaker is our own Rev Myrna Hirst, and next week's speaker is Randy Scott. In case you might be looking for more information on our center, our website is a great resource. This is where you will find information on our leadership, on our practitioners, and videos from past Sunday services. There's also activities listed, and you can sign up for the center newsletter. That website address is www.spirituallyfree.org. There are some great activities happening in this month of October, and we'd love to see you join in. The first one is brand new, and it's exciting. Well, they're all really good, exciting things. This one is a creation of a labyrinth. We've received approval from our landlord to create a painted labyrinth for our congregation and to share with the community. Walking a labyrinth has been a sacred meditative practice since ancient times and continues today among many cultures. The location of our labyrinth will be in the northeast corner of the large parking lot next to the Commonwealth Room, so it'll be back this way. If you would like to be involved, please talk to Carol Harris, and I think I saw her down here. There she is. Carol Harris, or Robin. I don't think Rob's here today, but you can contact her, today, and just let's get this going. The second one is a Taizé service on Wednesday, October 13th, from 6:30 to 7:30. It will be held right here in the sanctuary. This service has a long devotional history going back 80 years. It is a deeply spiritual experience that has brought people together from all cultures and denominations over the years. A Taizé service can bring, especially during these challenging times, a Taizé service can bring peace and equanimity to the world. So that's just 3 days from this. It's on Wednesday, just a few days ahead. And then we get to Sunday, October 31st, in a few weeks. That event is a spooky celebration for the spookiest time of the year, Halloween. A Halloween party will be happening right here in the sanctuary at 1 p.m. on that Sunday. Rob Ekman has planned activities that will include prizes for creative costumes, a pumpkin carving contest, games, fun tricks, and yummy treats. The movie Beetlejuice will be shown, so you're invited to bring movie treats to share. You can bring pillows and beanbags if you like, and join us for a frightfully good time. So that's Sunday, October 31st at 1 p.m. Our ministry is founded on prayer. Our prayer practitioners have completed 2 years or more of sacred training in affirmative prayer. If you would like a practitioner to pray for you or someone else, you can put a request in the prayer box in the lobby or make a request on our website. Now, I invite you to go inside as we prepare to hear a reading and centering music before Jim Ferris leads us in prayer.
Today's reading was adapted from the book 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holm. It's subtitled A Year of Daily Wisdom. It's a great little book to use to read one every morning. This one's entitled Divine Mind Pervades Every Atom of My Body. No one knows exactly what the mind is, but we certainly know that it is something within, that enables us to be consciously aware. We are told to let the mind be in us that was in Christ. This means that each of us should recognize the divine incarnation in ourselves. It was this realization of his union with good, with life, with God, that endowed Jesus with his miraculous power. There is one mind which all people use. Each one is an individual in it. It is individualized in, through, and as each person. The mind of God in human beings is Christ. This mind is not far away, nor is it some future event toward which we travel. It is something already and forever established that only needs to be recognized to manifest in our experience. This recognition can come to anyone at any time. What we do is uncover and reveal that which is already concealed at the center of our being. To realize that there is one mind, which we all use, is to understand the teachings of Buddha, Jesus, Plato, and Emerson. To enter consciously into communion with this mind is the secret of spiritual and intellectual power, of intuitive perception and divine guidance.
Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Do you remember to love, serve, and remember to love, serve, and remember? Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Do you remember? To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember.
In the sacred silence, let us all breathe in that wondrous light that created us all, and sit with this presence as it fills our consciousness, expanding into the unlimited, beautiful Christ consciousness that surrounds us all and lives within each and every person. Opening up at the top for today's beautiful music, feelings of connection with each person here, and the wisdom we hear in our talk today. This spiritual community is endowed with so many gifts and people that give of their time so we may connect every week in this sanctuary building and that sanctuary within each and every one of us, whether here or at home watching. How grateful we are for this opportunity to share community together. As together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Jim. I wanted to acknowledge and give another welcome to Rory Norseth, my buddy here. He's going to be playing with the band the whole month of October because I said so. Yeah, there was a special tune which we'll play as our clothing song that it had to have an electric guitar, and there's not a better guy to do that, as you soon will see. But it's great to have him as part of the band this month. It's a joy for me to share the song that I wrote. It's about our common humanity and our evolution and the things that are unique about us individually, and so the things that are so unique with us collectively. What we have created through hundreds, thousands of years to be at this point in consciousness and developing those divine qualities, recognizing them and letting them move through us to whatever fruition. And I know we're not done yet, obviously, but it sure is. It's good for me to take a reverent look at our humanness, and this song speaks to that. Please sing along. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dreams she'll be an actress. She wants to learn to sing and dance. A boy imagines he's a spaceman. They give no thought to circumstance. It is our nature to feel driven by a grander scheme beyond what is common in our mindscape, toward the dreams that we have spawned. We are risks that we choose to take them in. We observe our transformation. In just one thought, new life begins. We are undiscovered countries. Our coffers veil behind our eyes, each endowed with love and wisdom. Around our souls to realize peace is fruit that can be tasted just beneath the coral's rise. Joy is a time not wasted on careless thoughts best left behind. We may live beside the ocean, across the desert we may roam, but we are children in a family, and this planet is our home. We desire to know our future, to know it's safe before we sleep. We want so bad to be included, to know that love will never cease. We are risks that must be taken. We are how we've come this far. We'll always be connected, blended lights among the stars.
Thank you. I'm so glad to introduce our special music today. This musician, this wonderful person, has been a part of our music team for a long time now. It is so much a blessing to this community and definitely to this team what LezLee Monroe brings to this group. And her music is just astounding. She shared it at Big Sky and the Positive Music Festival. She's just a great and kind of prolific songwriter, a beautiful voice, and amazing songwriting skills. And we are so lucky to have this treasure right here. LezLee Monroe.
Thank you. Prolific songwriter. Wow, that's a great affirmation. I write a song about being prolific, right? But there are teachers out there who are saying that we live in a time where we can still thrive. So these are, my songs today are more of my notes to self. This one is called We Belong to Each Other, and I got that from a quote from Mother Teresa, something about we have forgotten, was it Mother Teresa? That we belong to each other. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. closer to you in this wide world we share. When we dance together, I honor the place where you stand. And I'd be brokenhearted if I hurt you with a careless word. May you feel free to speak your truth, and may you feel heard.
Yes.
Thank you to the band.
It's my pleasure, and it looks like she's coming up here on the stage to introduce our speaker. Reverend Myrna Hirst is a long-time friend of our center here. I'm so glad I get to go through this because it reminds me of all that you've done. She discovered this center more than 20 years ago. And during her years here at the Salt Lake Center, she has served twice on the Executive Council. She has taught many classes. As a practitioner, she helped with the manifestation of numerous projects. For a while, she also served as the administrator for our center. Currently, Reverend Myrna is our coordinator of the visioning team, and she meets regularly with the ministry council.
It's so good to be here. Oh my gosh, it's bright. Whoa. Okay, I can deal with that. Thank you so much for being here today. This is going to be a fun time, I think, today. We are going to have a good time. I just love the music this morning. I don't know about you, but it just wakes me up. I want to say particularly, I don't know where he went to, Rick, I always known you were a great musician, but by gum, turns out you're a poet. Did you listen to those words? Just lovely. And well, of course, LezLee. How would we do without this lady? Anyway, it's a good place to be. I love what we do, and thank you for that lovely introduction, Susan. Like I said, I'll pay you later. So, today we're going to talk about. Well, we're going to talk about about being community, which I think we already do a pretty good job of. Do you? I love to come here on Sunday mornings because that's what I get most of all. I walk in the door and there are people here that I have loved sometimes for a long, long time and sometimes since day before yesterday, but you're here. And we're here together, and when I walk in the door, I get such a sense of belonging. And that's kind of really important right now, I think. We're going to talk more about that as time goes on. But before we talk about anything else much, Susan talked a little bit about Taizé, and it's something that I love, and we've done it now for a couple of months, and we would like for some of you to know more about it, because I think it's a funny word, and that's as far as it goes for some of you. So Carol, well, it's what it is. Carol Harris loves Taizé as much as I do, and she really wants to talk about it. So I'm going to turn over, I hope, the spotlight and the mic to Carol Harris. Tell us all about it, love.
Taizé. I can say it is my very, very favorite hour of peace and connection and music and just yumminess. The very first Taizé that I attended was in 2004, and it was at that time, and it continues to be, the deepest spiritual experience that I have ever had. And over the years, I've probably attended 100 Taizés, and every one moves me to my soul. It's something that is hard to describe, and it's incredible to experience. And I hope that you will join us this Wednesday, because it is amazing. My very, very favorite original song from Taizé has the words that moved me so deeply. I am the place where God shows up, just as I am. That's good enough. I shine my light, I shine my light. I am the place where God shows up. So please show up and shine your light.
Thank you, Carol. Yes. It is, Taizé, incidentally, just in case you didn't know, is actually a monastery in France. It was started in the 1940s at the time of the Nazi problem in France and in Europe. And it was started as an interfaith, an all-inclusive organization. They still are. You can get them online. It's Taize, and they do a Taizé service every night. It's a little different from what we do because we aren't a monastery, but it kind of does the same thing. And thank you for that song, because we are the place where God shows up. So today we're talking about a couple of things. We're talking about the beloved community, which is a phrase that I heard first from Martin Luther King. And we talk about it a lot in a lot of ways. In fact, we had a fellow come here a year or so ago who wrote a nice book about the beloved community and what it means. And then we're going to talk about the dream, becoming the beloved community. So that's what we're up to right away. So it all starts with a sense of, why are we here? Why are we here? Why do you show up on Sunday? Why do I show up, and why do I stand up here and talk? And why have I been involved with this organization for 93 years? Because this is the place where God shows up in each and every one of us. We have a purpose for being here. And that purpose has changed through the years, but, we'll talk about that in a minute. The beloved community began with Martin Luther King or at least in my mind he did, the idea of having a community of people that love each other. And and the Centers for Spiritual Living has its own vision, and we have our own vision here at the Salt Lake Center. We talk about it every time we get together. But what we've done when we do that, in each of those cases, we've created a mental equivalent. Does that make sense? When Martin Luther King said it, he said, "I have a dream that one day the Red Hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis for freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their heart. I have a dream today." He set a mental equivalent for a change that we are still working on in this world, a change in which we can all be brothers, that we can all be one family, that we no longer put down people who are not like us. We all still do it to some degree, but we need to keep that mental equivalent still as we move into this next generation. Centers for Spiritual Living has its own idea of how we want to be in community, in brotherhood, as a beloved community. They say, "We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life, a world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience." They have a dream. Again, a wonderful mental equivalence. If you don't know what that means, what it means is that for anything to happen, we have an idea about what it's going to be in our minds. This is from Ernest Holmes, of course, that anytime we want to have something happen, we create it first in our minds, in our imagination, and then the universe takes over and it shows up the way it's supposed to. We at the Salt Lake Center, of course, also have our own little purpose, our dream. We say the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living is a thriving community. We said it just a few minutes ago. We're individually and together. We embody and express our spiritual magnificence for the highest good of all. We've all set that intention for whatever it is that we do. Our intention to become a beloved community. And once we've got that intention set, then we can move forward. And what happens, as we always know, is that whatever we want to show up, as long as we are really very firm about wanting it, and we're not confused about what that is, we know it's going to show up. It always does. That's why we say these things. That's why we set that equivalent. And that becomes the purpose of our organization. Now, churches have been very different for a long, long time. And I think that the main purpose of a church is to create that sense of community. It hasn't always been so. The very early Christian churches that we know of, we came together to listen to wise people tell us how to live our lives. The clergy was there to help us to understand how life was supposed to be, but then we got books that we could read, and we were able to do our own thinking. We learned to read, and we evolved. And when we evolved, the role of the clergy changed. Their job then was to support us in our own personal growth. They no longer had to tell us how to live our lives because we could figure that out for ourselves. And that's evolutionary. And now, right now, because of somewhat because of what's happened in the last year and a half, life is changing again. Have you noticed that? We have become, during this time when we've been inside, we've really gone inside. Many of us, most of us. And when we're coming out of this, we're coming into a world that's not the same as the world we left behind. And the role of the church now is to become a compassionate community, to understand what's been brought to us. What we understand now that we didn't understand before is that there are still things going on in the world that are not okay. And we've had an opportunity to really look at things and to say, let's us change this. We have that capacity. We can create that mental equivalent that says we are a beloved community. And we do that kind of by creating a dream. We just finished a little introductory class to the 4 agreements, which is a process that I know everybody understands. But in the beginning of it, Don Miguel Ruiz talks about a dream of the planet. He talks about the way things have always been, because that's the way they've always been, and the way that we grow up believing how things are supposed to be, because we're told that by our parents and our teachers and the television set and all of the things that we learn, and that sometimes that needs to be changed. So while we were doing that class, we had an opportunity together to write a new dream for the planet. I want to share that with you because I think it has kind of real value. One of the things that we said as a dream of the planet that we as a group want to see happen is that we need to learn to share our abundance as individuals, of course, but also as a country. We have so much here that we can share with all the world, not just stuff, not just food banks and things like that, but also understanding of a greater world. That we see a world that is one whole planet, with differences, of course, because we don't all live in the same world and we don't all live in the same culture, but we can honor and respect all ways of life, not just tolerate, but honestly honor people for who they are and what they believe, not just if they believe the same things I do. It's so easy for us to say, I'm right and you're wrong. And we can't always know that. In fact, we almost can never know that. We need to learn to honor and respect our diversity and our differences, as well as our similarities. This is the world. This is a new dream of the planet. And it applies not to just humans, but to all life and to the planet itself. I think that's a pretty good dream going forward. Does that make sense? Boy, I've really got you down, haven't I? I need to tell a joke or something in here, wake you back up. Okay. We are, the people tell us, bio, psycho, social, and spiritual beings. That there are 4 aspects to each one of us. We are biological. That's pretty obvious. So we need to take care of our biology, don't we? One of the things that we need to do in order to serve well as people and to be humans and being whole. So we need to take care of our biology. We need to take care of our psychology. It's been so easy during this pandemic to just feel negative, to go inside and feel bad, because we hear a lot of bad stuff, haven't we? Boy, you turn on the TV and it's everywhere. So we need to study now our psychology and to begin to become out of that dark time and I think it's happening, and to begin to understand that life has not had to be as limited as we've seen it in the past, that it is actually much more positive, that we can do a lot more positive things now than we ever could before. We are basically social creatures. We are bio-psycho-social people. We live in groups by nature. When we came down out of trees or out of caves, whichever happened, we were a tribe. And we are tribal creatures, and so we really belong together. And in the last year and a half, we've been able to do that to some degree through the internet. And I know that we still are there. We're not beyond that yet, and I'm so grateful to those people and for that technology that allows us to be in a room together, even when we're not. What would we have done without that? Now we have the capacity again to begin to come together as a group. to begin to be able to be in the same room together and to look each other in the eyes, take off the masks and say hi. I think that's important. I think it's terribly important to work with that social parts of us. And then finally, we are spiritual creatures. That's one of the reasons we come here. It certainly is the reason we do Teze and some of the other things we do. We need to have fun. We need to hug each other one way or the other. We really need to be together in community, in that beloved community, that beautiful, beloved community that we can create together. So how do we do that? How do we become a picture in community? You know, I forgot a video. That's what we want to be. You understand what I'm saying here? Yeah, I think this is very nice that we have people who look very different from each other. A beautiful, beautiful painting. I don't know who painted it, but whoever it is was wonderfully talented. So this is who we want to be. Wouldn't you agree? And here's how. Have you seen this before? Has anybody seen this before? No? It looked, to begin it with, it looked to me like maybe an earring or a piece of jewelry. It's a dozen ants drinking from a little drop of water that's on a leaf. Can you see it? Okay. What's magnificent about this picture is those ants. There are a dozen of them. I don't know how they communicate, neither do you, but they were smart enough that they divided themselves into groups of 3 and put themselves on different pieces of this drop of water so it wouldn't fall off the leaf. Look at that. Just look at that. I think that's amazing. That those little creatures had a common purpose. That purpose was to feed the group, to keep that little drop of water where it was so that everybody could get what he wanted, and then divide up in groups as teams to make sure that that happened. I think that's amazing. And I think it's what we need to do. I think we need to be ants. Does that make any sense to anybody? You're being awful quiet out there. I've either put you to sleep or something. Okay? So how do we do it? We do it by getting together as a team and creating this dream. We do it by getting together and creating this dream and then working on it, about being a part of it, but getting involved in it. And if it's more than a dozen ants, if it's all of society, if it's all of the things that we need to have happen in the world, then that's how we do it. We get together and we figure it out. Because we are the place where God shows up. Okay? It's interesting now, and I was listening to a fellow named Smirkanish yesterday morning. I don't watch much TV, but I listen to him on Saturday mornings because he's a wise man. He had somebody with him who is a psychologist who had a specialty in dealing with what happens after things like this pandemic. That people, where he was coming from is it turns out right now in the economy, we have more jobs open than we have people willing to take them. That's an interesting way to be in the world right now. It doesn't happen often. And what the psychologist said is because people have figured out that life is too short to spend your time working for $12 an hour. And that people are more aware than ever before that they need purpose in their lives. It's not just about collecting a salary anymore. I think that's amazing. And I think we can take that knowing and put it to work, as well as the ants did, about how do we now serve this larger congregation? How do we now create a community that includes people who need our help? How do we become a community that can serve people who are really in need of our support anymore? It's not just about talking about the doctrine or dogma or whatever you want to say that we talk about, we have a wonderful philosophy. And our job now is not just to talk about it, but to do stuff. Businesses have to change to accommodate this change, and so do we. And we know what we need to do to be there. But it boils down to one word. It boils down to being compassionate. To allow an organization, this business that we have, that's a church, this organization that we love, this beautiful community, that we are compassionate, tolerant people, that we honor all paths to the divine, that we allow people to be very different from what we are, and we honor them for that difference, that we let people think what they want to think, whether we agree or not. We don't need to change anybody's minds. Guess who's in charge? God's in charge. And God knows what she's doing. We don't need to tell her how to do it. Does that make sense? So, homework. Here we are. Always there's homework. Just as we did in our little class when we created a divine dream of this new planet, this new compassionate, wonderful church that we're creating, just as we did, your job now is to take that on and say, what is my dream for my life, and how do I do that? Part of it is the church. Part of it is the philosophy. Part of it is Ernest Holmes, bless him. And part of it, a larger part of it, is how do I behave in this new world? What do I do now that makes a difference in the world? How can I expand my own consciousness to become a beloved community for myself and for my family, for my neighbors and the people down the block and the people in homeless shelters and the people everywhere on the planet? How do I? What do I contribute to this greater dream for the planet, for the world, for the center, but mostly in my heart for myself? Because once we do that, then everything unfolds the way that it's supposed to be. We are the beloved community. We are the change that we want to see in the world. And we are where God shows up. So let's do a little prayer together as we move inside, as we move into our hearts. Take a moment to recognize what's in your heart, and then recognize the power of the person sitting next to you, and take that in. Recognize the energy of the person on the other side, in front of you, behind you. Feel the energy in this room. Feel the sacred energy in the music. And allow yourself to be carried into that space. That quiet, beautiful space where we are one. Now expand your consciousness to include people outside of this building. People in this community that might be sitting in other churches, or home with family loving each other. And let your heart move beyond that to people who may be more challenging to love. Bring them into the circle as well. And recognize that we all are God. that our differences matter only in the way that we allow them to be included with our own. Imagine all the colors of all the people on the planet. And bring into the circle life forms that are non-human. All of the animals and insects and birds and flying things and crawling things. Imagine the earth herself as part of this beloved, compassionate community which we are. And with that dream, we go out into the world today. And we remember that we are at all times the place where God shows up. As I breathe into this, knowing that the words that we say are the words of the divine, that the work is done. The world already is a better place because we are here. We keep that thought and we live that thought all the time. And it is good, so very good, that we simply let it be. As together we say, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And so it's that time. Our first act as members of this beloved community is that we get to share our prosperity, our abundance, our caring, our sharing with the world. So as the ushers come to join us, we recognize the abundance that each of us is, that every day, how well we show up. And it is our turn now to share some of that with the rest of the world. And so there's a saying that we say when we talk about prosperity and about sharing our wealth, and I'm sure that that's going to show up on the... There we go. Would you say that with me, please? Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be. And so it is. Thank you, God.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me.
Let's hear again from LezLee Monroe. LezLee Monroe.
Thank you, Ricardo, for giving me some structure with this. Whatever we call that. The name of this song, again from my notes to self, is Love You More Than I Want to Be Right. I know we have both been here before, but this time I'm not planning to keep score. I want to lose these dark glasses so I can see the truth. I want to shed our old and celebrate our new. I want to give you more than the benefit of doubt, and look into your eyes till the fear has all run out. I want to drop the pretense of an unforgiving past and see our light shine through the broken glass. I want to love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be right. Love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be right. I want to hear you even when my ears are ringing, and hear the song your hopeful heart is singing. I want to walk a mile in your holy shoes and see your heart in all its greens and blues. I want to love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be right. I want to love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be right. I'm loved where I am. You're so beautiful. Wherever you stand, there is no need to lose sight. When we stand together in the light, in the light. I love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be right. I love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be. I love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be right. I love you more, love you more, love you more than I want to be right. Thank you, Ricardo.
Wow. Preach it.
I always want to preach what I want to learn.
What a great message. Thank you, LezLee. And thank you, Myrna. I'm thinking about the questions that came up for me during your talk, and maybe why several of us were so quiet. I was wondering what I am to do. If there's stuff to do, what is mine to do? And Myrna, as leader of our visioning team, that's a great practice. It's a great place to bring that question. Maybe we're already doing, as part of a team, what we're meant to do, what our purpose is to make the world a better place. But to know that for sure is such a blessing. And to find out or discover, uncover what that is, no matter where you are in your life. In about 6 years, I'm going to retire. And gosh, I've expended a lot of time and energy at work. And I know several of my coworkers who, when they retire, they stop. And they stop in terminal ways. Several of them die. I mean, within a year of retiring. There's so much there is to do, and so many tools that we have here in community to discover what that is for us. So, as this song says that we'll sing together, let's work together. I want to remind you of the Taizé service coming up this Wednesday. I know a lot has been said about that. It is a beautiful experience, and thank you, Carol Harris, for expressing that from your heart. It's a powerful service. Also, here's something we can do together. There's a non-profit group that Delanne Haslam and her family are a part of. We're doing a kind of a benefit party this coming Saturday with lots of great music and fun, and hoping to stir up some donations and get that nonprofit more off the ground than it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful idea to aid teachers and music. And of course, I'm a little bit biased. I love to help out teachers and music programs for young kids. Anyway, lots of ways to work together. I'll think about that. Let's stand together and sing this great song. It's going to feature Rory Norseth on the rock and guitar. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here we go. Together we stand, divided we fall, yeah. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball and work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we stand. Every boy, girl, woman, every man. Before things go wrong, is there sometimes, well, the roads that we travel seem all uphill. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we stand. Every boy, girl, woman, every man. Well, now 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 hours, what does it matter in this life of ours? Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we stand. Every boy, every woman, every man.
Take it away, Rory.
together we stand. Every boy, girl, woman, every man. Well now, come on all you people, walk hand in hand. Let's make this world a good place to stand. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Now people, because together we stand. Every boy, girl, woman, every man.
Take us out, Roy.